Hi, I guess this is the first time we have met. I'm Milou. Well, that's the name my humans gave me. I'm here to share my story because my humans hope I won't be forgotten. Although that isn't important to me. I don't care to be famous now, let alone when I die. But I hope that maybe my story can inspire someone to treat those who are like me kindly. Those who have no voice, who are suffering, who are alone, vulnerable, and ignored. I was born in one of the most special and evocative castles in Italy, the Sforza's castle in Milan. My own kind was here before Leonardo da Vinci visited the castle in 1452. We were hundreds at that time, and now we're just a bunch, less than 40 cats, I believe. I was lucky to be a wild cat here, because cars and humans aren't allowed to roam inside these ditches, where we live freely, protected by the city of Milan. I'm around 10, roughly. But Rosie, the person who took care of me for as long as I can remember, says I'm about that age. What? You don't know who Rosie is? This is Rosie. She comes to feed my kind at the castle every day. They say she has been doing that for over 40 years, never missing a day, ever. And these two, they're my new family, Seb and Lina. I've been living with them since February 17th, 2023. How did I meet them? It's a fun story. Since 2021, Seb started to come to feed us, also every day. Rosie comes once per day, but I bet you eat more than once per day, don't you? Rosie never leaves spare food for us because hundreds of these pigeons live at the castle too, and they're voracious. So it's a good thing that Seb and some other kind souls come to help. He created this pulley system to help us eat from the ditches. And yes, that is me. You can tell I'm always hungry. One day, out of nowhere, one of my ears started bleeding. Rosie waited almost a year to take me to the vet. She thought it was nothing serious, and I understand that she's busy taking care of all of us. Seb put a lot of pressure on Rosie, who finally agreed to catch me and have me seen by a doctor. I was so scared. For the first time in my life, I was put into a cage and taken away from my castle to be manipulated by a human. I was put to sleep and given stitches. It wasn't pleasant, that's for sure. The doctor said I was too thin and weak to go back to the castle. She asked Seb to care for me for a few days, but that was impossible. You see, Seb already lives with 2 cats, and because I have FIV, the cat version of HIV, I couldn't stay with him. But I could stay at Lina's, Seb's girlfriend. She lives in the same building, but in a better house, so I was lucky that Lina invited me in for a little while. Well, at least that's what I think now, because the first days in my new home were terrifying. Besides Rosie, I never have had interaction with humans before. Whenever I saw one, I ran away as fast as I could. And now, I was living with 2 of them. Life is just crazy. I was hiding in a spot I found under the bathroom sink. Luckily, Seb and Lina decided to put a soft, rounded donut bed right where I was hiding. Oh boy, that thing was awesome. So much better than the pigeon guano-filled hard surfaces I used for my naps before. And the food, don't even get me started. I was eating 4 times per day. At first, I could not believe this was going to last, and I was eating as I used to, as fast as I could before one of the other cats or pigeons stole my feeding spot. In those days, I weighed less than 4 pounds. Now I'm almost twice that. Life is weird. Seb and Lina started to call me Brush because I was literally brushing up every little crumble left in my bowl. I was eating close to my hiding spot. I never stepped away from it, or at least never when the humans were in the house. But as they say, nothing is for free. Every morning, Seb laid me on the kitchen table to apply medication to my ear and forced me to eat the disgusting food he was also calling medicine. A nightmare. After about 10 days in my new home, Lina decided to adopt me. I wasn't going to be a stray cat anymore. Oh boy, was I happy. No more cold nights, no more starving. At my age, especially in my condition, this was the best thing that could have happened to me, and that has ever happened to me. I don't want to be cheeky, but I feel I deserve some peace after all that suffering. But everything has a price, right? I had to visit a new doctor regularly, get sedated, and be examined like a lab rat. It turned out that the initial problem, my bleeding ear, was cancer, and that it was the least of all worries. I have chronic heart disease and kidney failure. I'm FIV and FELV positive and have cancer. At least, this is what the doctors were saying. But to me, my open wound was the main reason I was suffering so much. Despite the medication, the wound wasn't healing because it wasn't really a wound. It was the cancer eating up my ears, and it was getting worse by the hour. It was going in both directions, deep into my brain, completely destroying the ear canal and externally widening the already too large opening. It was producing pus, liquids, and blood, all going inside my ear. Imagine living every minute of every day with such pain. Every time I shook my head, not only was I spilling blood all over the house, I felt a pain that was so strong that it would make me scream. But apparently, there was not much to do. I could have had surgery to remove the cancer, but given my general condition, the chances that I'd not wake up from anesthesia were very high. I remember the day when the doctor suggested putting me to sleep. I remember Lina crying, Seb frantically spending hours on the phone with doctors and friends seeking advice. I get it. Euthanasia is the only choice sometimes to stop the suffering, to stop an undignified life. But it's easier if you have to make that decision for yourself. Deciding to put an end to somebody else's life is hard. It's devastating. So this is what I did. I kept eating obsessively because I was hungry, and the food was delicious. Luckily, my appetite was enough to convince my humans to give me one more chance because I did not want to die. Seb and Lina promised that I was going to be a princess and that they were going to give me all the love, food, and attention in the world. I do not want to die, all right? The message arrived loud and clear. My humans decided that they would take the chance to have me operated on. One day, I was again put in a cage. I thought it would be a regular visit to the doctor, but it wasn't. We drove over 2 hours to visit a surgeon that was recommended for his skills and humanity. After Paolo had visited me, he told Seb and Lina that my condition was bad, but the operation was totally feasible. I knew that something would happen to me by the way the humans said goodbye when they left me at the hospital inside a cage. I could feel the hope in their hearts, but also their fear of never seeing me alive again. The surgeon told me that I would have to spend a few days at the clinic after the surgery to make sure that my organs could recover. Still, Seb and Lina on that day stayed around until I woke up to make sure I was okay. They told me later that they spent 4 hours without saying a word. The waiting was so intense that after Paolo called to say I was okay,
Milou.
They screamed and cried and hugged in relief. 3 days later, I was ready to come home. I looked like a horror film though. When I saw Lina and Seb at the clinic, in my heart I felt such relief. I didn't think they'd come back for me. I couldn't stand one more second inside that cage. Silently, I was screaming, "Please, take me home." I was heard loud and clear. We didn't just drive home. We were driving towards our new life together, as happy as I can ever remember. When I arrived home, I felt so grateful. Even if I had lived there for less than 2 months, that was the place where I now felt safe, loved, and special. After all, I am a princess. The days after the operation, I wasn't feeling 100%, and you could probably tell why by looking at how I was stitched up. But that pain was nothing compared to how I felt before. My right ear was gone completely, and my left ear was partially cut off, but I could still hear everything. As you can probably imagine, I didn't lose my appetite. But something else changed in me, I decided to give my humans some trust. I know that's bold. The me trusting humans option was never on the table. But I had changed. I started roaming the house freely and switched up my napping spot frequently. Remember the spot in the bathroom that I never left? I never napped there again. Guess what? It became my bathroom too. I started napping on the kitchen chairs, even while the humans sat at the table. Then I tried the couch, in front of the window, then the guest room bed, the television cabinet, and finally, the human bed. Sometimes I was napping close to Seb and Lina. Unbelievable! Those were the best days of my life. As a stray cat, I used to live outdoors, and my humans sometimes worried about me missing my freedom. So they tried to let me out, even forced me to go breathe fresh air and enjoy the sun's warm rays. I get their point. I did that, but never stayed outside for more than a minute. I had spent my entire life outdoors when it was so hot that I couldn't breathe, or so cold that I couldn't sleep. I hid during thunderstorms, got soaked during rainy days, and spent each day wondering when I would be able to eat. And now they wanted me to enjoy staying outside? Not a chance. Now I'm going to enjoy my comfortable home, my couch, my bed, my chairs, and my selection of food that is always available in abundance. All was going great. My hair started growing and my right eye started opening. I was enjoying naps because I was home. And I learned that home is where you feel safe, so much that you can nap for hours without fearing that something will happen to you. Until the day Seb noticed a little something. I had a little bump on my head. They had me checked and x-rayed, but it was impossible to see what this bump was. Seb and Lina were constantly in touch with the vet. It took everybody a while to admit what was going on. The little bump was gradually growing. My cancer was back. Before and after my surgery, Paolo told Lina and Seb that this particular cancer, so-called squamous cell carcinoma, could remanifest from relapse cells. Just my luck, hey? During that time, I didn't care or get why Lina and Seb were so sad. I was feeling great. I was eating like usual, napping like a pro, and exploring all the corners of my new home. The surgeon said that as I recovered so efficiently from the previous surgery, he could try again, and this time it would be even easier. Of course, my humans were unhappy to make me experience all that stress. Again. But what could they do? Let me die without even trying? I knew something was going to happen, because one morning they made me fast. The bowls of my food had disappeared. That day, they woke up earlier than usual, put me inside the cat carrier, and drove 2 hours to the same clinic where I got my first surgery. I remember that place so vividly that when Paolo came in, I literally peed myself. There was another kitten there, and I heard Seb trying to convince Lina to adopt him too. Don't you dare, Seb. No other cats other than me are allowed in my realm. I can't say if I was lucky that day, but after I was checked, we went back home. Ah, my home, my food, my napping spots. Paolo told Seb and Lina that this time there was nothing he could do. The cancer had adhered to my skull, and removing it would damage my neurological system. The only option I have is to live as long as I can, until one day I will start feeling the pain and stop eating. And when that day comes, Lina and Seb will have to be brave and let me go before my dignity is taken away from me, before the pain becomes unbearable. Lina and Seb try to stay positive and are enjoying every day that passes by. Every day we spend together is a gift, a chance to stay together as a family, a chance to share our love with one another. But I must tell you that when they're alone with me, I see the tears flowing like rivers. I don't know how to show my gratitude to them for giving me a home, a castle, great food, the feeling of being loved and safe, for making me their princess. The only thing I can do for them is to keep on fighting. I don't want to die after all. I know they're not giving up on me. They're giving me something called homeopathic medicines. hoping that these will help strengthen my immune system to slow down this cancer that is eating me from the inside. I hope I'm going to stay with my family for some more time, and I asked Seb not to put in this video he's making the moment when I'll go. I just want you all to remember me alive, happy, and with my new family. When I'm gone, Seb knows what to do. My ashes will be spread over the place I grew up. I want to tell my fellow felines that humanity isn't bad after all. Some humans can be trusted. For each and every one of us, there is a hope that someday a kind soul will notice us with eyes full of love and empathy, and will take us to a place where we can be safe and live like princes and princesses. If you are watching this and you happen to be a human, this is the message I have for you. The next time you see my kind in need, don't ignore us. We can't survive without your help. Take us with you. Don't let us starve, suffer the elements, or die alone. We will bring joy into your life and warm your heart more than you could ever imagine. My name is Milou, and I'm a fighter.